What's up, guys? TheDevildogGamer here, and today we're going to be talking about the ISMC mod on Insurgency Sandstorm and how I pretty much think it saved the game, and not only for me, but for a lot of other people. But I know a lot of people are going to be like, dude, Insurgency Sandstorm is super popular. Yeah, it's popular now because of the console release, and you console guys don't got a lot of choices when it comes to tactical realism, not like us PC guys. We have tons of choices, so we can get bored of a game and move on to something else, but console guys, you really don't have many options. And that's why it's popular right now, just because of the console release. But before that, Insurgency Sandstorm was pretty much dead for a while. There wasn't a lot of shit going on. And if you don't know of this game, it is a tactical realism. It can be PvP or PvE. The PvP just kind of died down on PC quite a bit lately. And where this game comes from, it actually started as a Half-Life mod. And then it got really popular, so they decided to make their own game, Insurgency, the first one, which was insanely popular for a while. And, dude, it was constantly full, lots of things happening. And then they released Insurgency Sandstorm, which was popular for a little while. It was kind of took everything from the original Insurgency and just kind of did it in a different way. You know, it was almost like a copy and paste. So it got kind of boring pretty quick, and it died out pretty ridiculously quickly, believe it or not. Once it released, the servers were pretty much dead. Nobody was playing PvP at all. It was a few PvE servers that were full here and there, and that was until we started getting ISMC mod. Now, this mod doesn't really do too much to change the game. It adds a ton of new weapons and customizations, but the gameplay itself is pretty much the same. There is point shooting with lasers and different kind of things you can do with that, and customization of, armor and, cosmetics, but it's mainly the weapons and the way you can customize weapons, which is important because you got to remember games like Escape from Tarkov have just made people want weapon customization to an insane level even more. And that's what ISMC mod does. You can change all kinds of shit on your weapon, whatever optic, your grips, your stock, your lasers and everything. You want a laser light combo, or you want a laser, or just the laser itself. You got the options to do that, and it kind of creates this new base to where you had the customization before on Insurgency Sandstorm, but this just takes it to a whole new level and expands upon it, which the devs should have done in the first place. They really didn't have a lot offering with weapons and loadouts in the base game, but ISMC just adds so much to it that there's just so many options there for you to choose from, which kind of opened up the flood door to a lot of other things. You started getting people working on the bots, making them smarter, making them their numbers increased, and then you started getting photorealistic maps that people could use. And it just added this perfect storm where people just started doing ISMC mod with all these other bot mods and crazy maps, and just doing PvE like this all the time. And that's all you see. I don't see, I see maybe one or two ISMC servers with PvP, but I see hundreds filled with PvE. There's only few people that play PvP on this game, especially the ISMC mod, but almost everybody plays the PvE. That's all it is, all until console came around. But to me, that just revitalized the PC so much on this game. Like, you just see tons of people just going crazy, fighting bots, customizing their weapons, trying different combos here and there. And to me, that just shows that the mod can bring any game back to life and kind of breathe new life into it for people who have played the hell out of it and want something new, something new after they've pretty much burned themselves out on the game. This also goes for a lot of games. I see that most games that don't have mod support die out pretty quickly when the player base gets kind of tired of them. But games like, that have crazy amounts of mod support, like Arma 3, are always popular, that never really die out. And there's some mod that comes out that brings a player base back, etc. And that's kind of what ISMC did. It brought a lot of people who would, like, especially me, who were like, all right, I'm done playing Sandstorm. And then all of a sudden they see pictures or YouTube video of this mod, and they're like, well, fuck, let me try it. And then they get addicted to it again. And that's the glory of mods. And especially, and it's always been true with this game, because Insurgency, it started out as a mod. So, of course, they're going to embrace the mod-making community. The original Insurgency had mods too. You couldn't add new weapons to the game, but you could change their skins. You could turn an M4 into, an AEK 971. It would still sound like an M4 and operate like an M4, but it would have the skin that made it look like an AEK. And it started with that, and that was one of the things I liked about it, because you could do different maps and things like that, and then, change the skin of your weapon and have a lot of fun. But this just takes it to a whole nother level, dude. It just adds this craziness to it. and it makes it a lot more fun. And if you can find a group of guys, you could mill sim this if you wanted to. You really could. There's enough here for you to kind of enjoy it in that sense. And that's why I think this mod really kind of upped the game quite a bit for it. Because to me, Insurgency Sandstorm was pretty dead, and I was like, I'm not playing it. But when I saw this, I play it now and then. Man, I still load it up and play it at least once or twice a week if I can, because it's that much fun. It adds that much variety to the game that was already old and kind of stale for me. That's why when I see games that release now without mod support or even a mod community behind it, I know the days for it are kind of already numbered. Any game that has mod support realistically is going to last through the ages. I mean, hell, people are still playing the old Stalker games because they have mod support. People are still playing all the Fallout games because they have mod support. But if you look at games that don't have mod support that are the same age, you really don't see that much of a player base anymore because, well, you can only do so much the same, and then you get bored. And that's why I really like what they did with ISMC mod. And those guys really brought and revitalized not only the game for me, but for a lot of people. It added a kind of a new flavor and a layer to it. And it's so cool that ISMC mod's going to be working on the new Operation Harsh Doorstep game, which is going to be awesome because it's basically a free-to-play squad, but there's a lot more into it with the modding support and things like that. And it just goes to show you that if you do a good enough job on a mod, you're going to be dragged into some other stuff. I mean, there's just tons of modders that have gone on to do crazy cool games. And hell, Insurgency started out as a mod, and here they go. They got 2 games that have already been made. I just think it's pretty crazy. It just shows you that in this day and age, 2021, modding is extremely important to, any game. And any developer, Take-Two, that restricts modding is absolute dog shit terrible. Because you can bring back any game, no matter how old it is, with some mods. Now, for those of you who play this on console, I know there is no mod support at the moment, but I think the developers have said that they're going to work on it a little bit after launch. There might be some hope that you guys get to play the ISMC mod. Hopefully it comes around by the time you guys get bored of the game, kind of just like every PC player who had the game, because it adds a whole lot more variety into the game. That's already, once you kind of get done with it, there's no real reason to play unless you do it like competitively, which I don't even know if there's a real competitive scene in Insurgency. I know there was for the original game, but I don't know if there is for Sandstorm, to be honest. And and the sad fact is, a lot of the developers that I knew that through over the years of doing videos and stuff for it have already kind of moved on from Insurgency, which stinks and kind of leaves the fate that we might not get another Insurgency game. But if you leave it in the hands of modders, you can get a lot of progress and a lot of really cool things done with the game. And that's what I'm kind of hoping, is that modders take over, just like these guys with ISMC, and create some pretty cool stuff and, keep this game rolling and alive for as long as they possibly can. That's the kind of the goal of modding, is to take a game and make it something a little better, or a little more outside the box than it was before, or expand upon something that maybe the developers didn't have time to touch. That's why I like modding, and modding is really important to me as a PC player, that, games have that backing of mod support is really, really important, because with this game, it literally changed me from not playing it to playing it all of a sudden. And I think that's super important, and it shows how well these mods actually add to the game. And, as much as people are like, oh, mods are a pain in the ass and stuff, they're worth it, man. They're worth it because they bring games back to life. There's tons of games that this has happened to, and this is the most relevant one to our current time, because I was done with it and I didn't want to touch it anymore. And all of a sudden, here I am back on it because of a mod that literally just adds weapons and a few little things here and there. Just shows you, man. It really can completely change a game for you. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns on the ISMC mod, if you like it, you love it, you think it changed the game for you, let me know in the comments below. Talk to you guys later. Peace.